They're using your creativity to train models that you will be never allowed to use. This is what is happening today. And there is a lesson that we need to learn. So what is going on here? Because if we look into the technology itself, there is a massive amount of constraints that have been added to those models. Now, one person comes to my mind, and this person is John Coltrane, a jazz player, because that's something that we need to learn from this person. But first, like and subscribe, and let's start. Now, what are those constraints? So, first of all, those models from the large corporation need to be safe. Okay, so there are guardrails where those AI models can go and not go. Because of their business model, their goal is to extract as much as data from us so they can improve the next most powerful model. How this is done is by creating an environment that doesn't need to be friendly. It needs to be complicated, so some specific minds can actually navigate. This is John Coltrane action. If you haven't, I'm going to link in the description. If you haven't heard about John Coltrane Giant Steps, that is this song, that is a piece of music where it's extremely complicated. A lot of chords that keep changing, okay, really fast. It's extremely hard to navigate that kind of level of complexity. But it's not just a technical challenge. Here is a creative one. So it's not enough to be able to play on those constantly changing chords, but it's also creating art out of it. Do something that is extremely beautiful. That requires talent, taste. That is what they're looking for. So it's not about making your life easy. It's about creating the constraints needed so you, with your creativity, by navigating it, you can give the most important data to them. And you might say, okay, that would be fine if then we will all use it. If it was open to everybody. But no, it's closed, it's gated, and you and I are not allowed to pass the gate. We have this scene with the mythos from Anthropic, but this is the direction. It's the direction because it's extremely important for them to have the most powerful AI. That is their business model. So, we need to do what John Coltrane did, which is not just become the best at using those, but actually move after that level. Move into a love supreme. That is where free jazz can, express itself. So instead of having those incredible level of sophistication, you step back and you create much more space. That is the sovereignty. Okay, we decide what we need to be free. And within that more space to move around. John Coltrane did something that is even more incredible. So now this is what we need to do. I personally made my decision. I decided that I want to use something that I'm sovereign about. So I must have a local model that I can trust, I can use. Something that I can use within an architecture that I can control. I decided to use Qwen 3.6 27 billion. Why this model? Because this is small enough that can run on hardware that I can afford. But also is small enough that can run at a speed that makes sense for me. I will need to have something more powerful. Sometimes it's a requirement because of the coding that you're doing or the strategy level that I want to work at. If in those scenarios, I'm okay to use cloud models. And my choice is in two directions. One is GLM 5.2. It's incredible. I really don't see the guardrails that those large corporation models have. More free, more open-minded, more explorative. I can't believe actually how good is that model. It's challenging me even more. It doesn't need to please me. It's just there to do the work, the job that I ask it to do. This is incredible. And I can say the same thing about this Qwen 3.6 27 billion. It's smaller, but it has that kind of attitude of challenging, of writing in a way that is, it's, I don't know, much more engaging, much more interesting. But The model is just part of it. It's the architecture that we need to look at. The architecture for me is my memory is the most important part. Is the thing that AI will use to reason within. So that part, I need to own it, I need to control it, it needs to be mine because it's the most important part and I don't want any corporation, anything to train on it. Then there is the hardness. How do I connect the model with the memory, with the protocols, with the skills and so on? And at the moment I find extremely good Hermes. Hermes is open source. So it ticks that box where it says I can use it with no limit, with no restraints. It runs on my system and cannot be taken away. So I like it. And then I use open code when I want to do coding. For open code, most of the time I use Minimax version 3. It's fast, it's good, it does the job, it doesn't stop, it go there and keep working. Now, if I have the need to something more powerful, because I need to solve a problem that my local model or my cloud model cannot do it, I can see it. Okay, you see the AI getting lost inside a loop. You can do two things at that level. Okay, because most of the time it's not about intelligence; it's about not knowing what to do. And knowing what to do most of the time is on the cloud. Okay, but not in the cloud in the sense that there is a model that knows there. In the sense that you can do a research, ask AI to say, look, there is this problem, you are not finding the solution. Do a research and see how other people solve that problem. Learn, okay, instead of just keep trying and so on. If that doesn't work, then there is a case for for the Fable 5 scenario, for the GPT 5.6. Okay, then there is a reason why you need maybe something more powerful. Only then, when no your AI can do it, no data is present on the internet, then a more powerful intelligence maybe can solve the problem. Okay, that is when makes sense. For the rest, there is not really need. There's really no need, especially at the price that they offer us, with the constraint that those models have, and with the business model that they're building around them. So, because of all those reasons, for me, it's pretty simple. That is my invitation. That's what I think we should move towards. Now the price of hardware is growing. There is not a clear path. So you need to make your own decision on what is the best for you. Price might go down, price might go up. Nobody knows the future. We might see the bubble burst, but we might see the demand of local AI increasing, so the price can go even higher. I personally decided to take this chance that we have now, and I'd rather overpay something than be priced out and say I can't afford it to buy anymore. So this is my thinking. Therefore, this is why I'm doing my investment today. Not financial advice, but that is my direction. There are other things to consider. That this cannot be done alone. This journey is not a lonely journey. It's not like a single wolf journey of, I close myself in my bunker and I'm gonna fight those AI corporation on my own. I'm gonna survive this challenge. John Coltrane created an environment where you could be free. In our case, we need those instruments. Okay, we need a system where we can be sovereign, so we control the architecture. But John Coltrane didn't do it by himself. He had a band. He had other people to work with. And that is maybe the most important lesson that we have. We shouldn't do it alone. These require a band, a team of people. We need our mind, other humans, to help us break our own bubbles, to connect with others, see the struggle and the exploration that we are all doing, be inspired by others, and inspire others to do the same. We need to be the signal out there that say, look, let's go together there. We don't need to know where. We need to understand that there is a path that is different from that one. We don't need to have the final idea, the final project, but we need to follow our intuition and say, I want to be a human in control. I want to be sovereign about my mind, about the AI that I use. I don't want to be caged in a system where I'm forced towards the most probable token. And if I'm a genius, I'm gonna just train an AI that will cage me and others even more. That is not what we should do. We should say enough. We should get together and build the alternative. That is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing with our community on Discord. This is the reason why I'm telling this, because there is a better path, something that we can achieve in a different way. This is the signal that I want to give you today. Be John Coltrane. Create your instrument, create your constraints, find a band, build something that is this thing about building. Okay, let me explain, because this is another thing that is important to understand. This is a moment in history where it is not about creating this most successful business, the best thing ever, become the billionaire, the trillionaire because you use AI. Okay, this is the trap again that they are pushing to us. Okay, this narrative of you need to ship something today. The reality here is that this is a moment of experimentation. This is a moment of pioneers that want to learn and explore and see what are the limits, but not the limits given from a corporation. It's the limits that are part of this technology. It's the limits of our human imagination. That is the limits that we need to find out. Not the limits of a guardrail because this is too dangerous for you to know what to do. No, it's about us. It is about us, the human, and human with human working together. This is what it is. This is a new challenge for us as a pioneer, as a creative mind, as a strategist, to walk this together. This is where we need to go into this unknown. Have the courage to say, I believe that we can change the world together, and we can do it, and we will get together and do it. This is my invitation for you. There is nothing else to say. Today, we need to focus on this. Get free, get connected, and be creative. Like and subscribe, watch the next video, join the Discord community, and ciao.